Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky. I am a living Christ. I should like to speak to you today about love and war. The difference between Satanism and divine understanding. You see, civilized man has been Satanized since the beginning of time. And by that I mean he has been ruled through his conscious, dualistic intellect by training, by culture, by mind control. Going back as far as the known history that is being believed in today, one finds that the Jewish people play a dominant role. The Bible, the pre-Bible days, the Old Testament, it's a mindsets of civilized men of that time, men who made rules. That is the departure. That is the fall of Satan. When satanic thinking, dualistic thinking, became the foundation for all civilized societies in the literal world. You understand? Mankind is divine. Divine entities. They're not their bodies, you understand? There is much that the civilized man cannot grasp because he is so hampered by his satanically indoctrinated intellect, his beliefs. He lives in a fictional world based on ideas, rules, regulations, symbols, legends. You see, those are all fantasies. You must understand that when I speak to you, I'm speaking to you of non-dualistic truth that can be only grasped by your subconscious mind, the non-dualistic mind. That's the mind of God, the divine mind, the mind capable of creation. You are all creators of your own life. Your conditioning, your education does not allow for you to grasp that, you see. You have been trained to believe that you are subject to the powers of those who rule over you, leaders. They're just men. They're no different than you. They have a different mindset, certainly, but they must have the dualistic society for them to exist and exercise their power. Kings and queens are no different than the inhabitants of their kingdoms who have been made to believe that they are somewhat lesser. No one, no one is greater or lesser than anyone else. We are all created equal when we begin to understand that the factors which separate us are merely fictional ideas which program us and form the content of our civilized, satanically ruled intellect. In the subconscious mind, we are all equal. That must be tampered with. Thus, is the temptation of Satan, which must rule you, draw you away, seduce you from that conscious state of infinite understanding, intelligence, and bring you into an ignorant, a limited, a conditioned belief system which separates you, which divide you from one another. You understand? There must be division in order for hell to exist. And nowhere can it be greater exhibited is in civilized societies ruled by satanic thinking. When I am talking about satanic thinking, I am talking about dualism. Plain and simple. The idea of truth, for example, is not truth. Truth is what is. When you create an idea, you create a replication, the symbol, an idea of that which is the what is, undefined what is. But once it is defined, it becomes an illusion. That is the civilized world that you all live in. And so you find it difficult to follow me, let alone understand me. You want to believe. You want guarantees. You want security, you see. You want a limited consciousness where you can feel relaxed and let others do your thinking for you, others do your decision making, take your actions for you. That's what government is. That's what religion is. It's satanic. Oh, you don't see it that way. You see government as your friend. If you're dumb, you see religion as your protector. If you're dumb, only those who are easily manipulated intellectually, which can be called followers, believers, those are the individuals that make up the vast majority of people living on earth. But they are fallen people, for they have been seduced into thinking they are slaves, owing in obedience to government leaders who are no more than men just like them, or women just like them. However, they have a different mindset, and they rule over you through the specter of fear. You must believe, you must follow their rules, their laws, or you are considered a criminal. And then you will be punished. That's a system. That's a dead satanic system. Stimulus, response, reward, and punishment. That's an intellectual satanic system, and that's how all of you are being controlled. And I'm talking to all you civilized people, or should I say sheeple, for you follow, you are followers. You are incapable of standing alone in truth, which is non-dualistic. You have been seduced into the dualistic intellectual mind. There, everything is fantasy, but you believe it to be true. That is your first mistake. As fallen men and women, you've lost your ability to be sovereign, to be holistic, to live a holy life. By that I mean that you live with truth. You speak truth. You cannot tell a lie, for telling a lie is dualistic and only found in the satanically ruled intellect. You cannot harm anyone if you are living in your non-dualistic subconscious mind, for there is no one to harm. Everything is what is, truth, and truth cannot be destroyed. Yet the intellectual mind is everlastingly attempting to draw you off your balance and draw you into picking a side so that you may argue, you may debate, you may declare war and kill. That's hell. That's the world you are now supporting when you support government, when you support religion. You are supporting hell because it's all ruled by dualistic indoctrination. You've lost the ability to resonate with truth. When you do that, you are in love, for love has no opposite to it. Love has no incompatibility about it. The idea of love, however, based in intellectual memory, is all illusion. It's all based in the representation of love. So there is an outcome that is expected. You butter up people. You pander to people. You flatter people. You tell them how wonderful they are if only they will reflect your words. Those are your seducers, your entertainers. Those are your religious phonies, the evangelists who create segments of religion instead of the oneness of love that is the basis of all religion, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Every living man and woman wants that. How many of them achieve that, you see? And when I use the word achieve, I'm already talking to you in the dualistic intellect, where you perceive that if you had it, there'd be nothing for you to achieve. You understand? The fact that you must achieve, you must set goals, is evidence that you are unhappy, that you are in pain, you are in suffering, you are sad. All these things are apprehensions of you. For if you had all these things, you would be in heaven. And that's another achievement of most of you, those of you who are in hell. Now, I'm talking about the collapse that's coming of the system, the monetary system, which is inevitable. It's promoted all the time. They're telling you right now to keep you in fear that it's going to fall apart. And what you have, you will no longer have because the system will take it away from you. It will not function anymore as it has promised in the past. And you will lose whatever advantage you've had. It's the great equalizer. And you live in fear, but you don't do anything about it. You understand it? I've been on this internet now for 25 years, and I've been speaking about the subconscious mind, the mind of God, your subconscious mind. You understand? You're the God of your own life. You create the quality of your life. If you want a good life, you act truthfully. You speak truthfully. Your actions and your words are as one. Non-duality. Where else do you find that? While you're living in your dualistic world, the world of Satan, You're always scheming, planning the future, the past. And you're doing it in the present, which keeps you confused. That's how you're controlled. That's how you are controlled by people who use systems of thought to encage you, to make sure that you act within the parameters that are allowed you. Allowed by whom? By other men who call themselves leaders, who call themselves presidents, who call themselves kings, queens. These are all just cockamamie words. All men are created equal. They don't even know that they are not their bodies, and they are not their minds, all of which are temporary in nature. They are the essence of infinite intelligence, God, that is timeless, beyond all restrictions. That's the non-dualistic mind. That's love. That's life. That's God. So when I talk to you, is it any wonder that you haven't got a clue of what I'm talking about? You haven't got a semblance of understanding of the essence of energy, undefined energy that can be sensed by you, of this living Christ. It isn't his words, it's his energy. It's your energy. You understand? We are all one. God is in all of us. We, through the mental capacities of intellectualism, must alter that by affecting the energy of each and every one who submits to such pressure, intellectual pressure. That's what your schools are doing to your children. Oh, well, they're coming to this world equal to all. But as you watch them and you begin to program them with your conditioning, and then you send them to school, here comes a call. I want you to pay attention to this call and see how many people will not identify themselves.
Hello.
They're looking to grab some sort of advantage.
If you leave your name and phone number and the reason for your
Here's how I
call,
deal with them.
I'll recontact you as soon as possible. If not, I have no desire to speak to you.
Did you get that? Did he answer? Did he identify himself? That is the parasitical sales world that we are addicted to. People who will not identify themselves, but once they grab your attention, they change your behavior patterns through scheming, through deception. That's the intellectual world that I speak of. You just saw it displayed here and now. That's why I will not talk to anyone over the telephone who will not identify themselves and tell me what they want up front. It's little things like this that can change our world, but it has to be done individually. It cannot be done by groupthink, because groupthink is satanic, and that's how you're controlled. If you are a believer, you relegate yourself to being lesser than that in which you believe. And that's the control measure, the satanic control measure of all living men who give up their status as living men and women and accept the status of believer, of follower, of faith. It's time that we change our energy at the very foundation of our consciousness. And then, and only then, can we change our world. But it must be done individually. I have been showing that, displaying that for 25 years. And you'll find the history of that on the website searchers and my two websites, arkenterprises.com and lisarayenterprises.com. It shows it can be done. And it also shows the stress, the power, the attacks that are routinely made upon anyone who holds to the truth. That's real. That's true. There's nothing created in that through legend or through myth. The plain and simple truth. Speak the truth, act in truth, do no harm, and tell no lies. And you're in heaven. The whole world can go to hell, but you're in heaven. Because you're not your body. The body is an illusion. Therefore, it begins at birth and ends at death. Your mind is an illusion. Your conscious mind, your intellectual mind, because that too can be programmed and has an ending. So when you die, that is the proof that is all illusion. And everything that you believe life to be is an illusion. All that is truth is infinite, forever. What is does not change. But all attacks are made toward that truth. And they're made by the satanic mind of intellect, which currently has power over you. You are believers, and therefore you separate yourself from others who have different beliefs. That's different cultures, different countries, and that brings on war. It brings on crime. It brings on unfair advantage in gaining wealth, in gaining power. All of these things, wealth and power, are based in satanic hell. I've given you a lot to chew on, and I hope that you will give attention, your attention, to what has been said in this video, for it's important. On it relies the fate of the world, the fate of you, for you are the creator of your world. That's the fact. That's the truth. What are you going to do about it?